With All For One's defeat in the anime finally being broadcasted, it has many people thinking about what other verses could take him down, or if he could prevail in those situations. And the most brought up verse is the Jujutsu Kaisen verse. So in this video, I'm going to be taking me into the Shinjuku Showdown to see if he'd win against the Shinjuku squad. So strap in, because I'm about to get real in depth with this video. But before I do get into the video, if you guys do enjoy content like this, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe, as I do post content like this regularly, and to be honest, it's a win-win. You guys show me love and support, and I give back to you in the form of videos. Whether it's My Hero, Jujutsu Kaisen, or just fiction in general, in due time I'm not covering it, so be there when I go there. But I feel like I've rambled on long enough, so why don't we find out if All For One could take down the Shinjuku squad. Now before we do get into the video, I'm gonna have to go over the rules. And the first rule is that the entire Shinjuku Showdown squad will be here. That means Gojo and all. So yes, this is a real battle to take down All For One. The second rule is that the squad will have the exact same information that the My Hero cast did, and they'll have a month to prepare for the battle just like they did in canon. But All For One will also have a month to prepare, and he will have the exact same information Sukuna did going into the battle. So it will be all equal information being spread across the board. And yeah, it's going to be information at the start of each final battle. The third rule is that both sides will be from the end of their own battles. That means that Gojo will be reanimated after he was killed by Sukuna. The rest of them will be just thrown into another Shinjuku Showdown after they've just done one, and All For One will be revived back to the state he was at the start of the final war. But don't get it twisted, the information that they got throughout the battles, well, the My Hero squad and Sukuna got throughout the battles, they will not cross over, only be from the start. I just want to make that clear. So their bodies and the curse techniques they may have learned or gained or whatnot, yeah, they keep that. But the knowledge that the person fighting them got throughout the battle will not be there. I just want to point that out so nobody gets confused. The fourth rule is that the battle will obviously take place in Shinjuku. And the fifth and final rule, and I'm pretty sure you guys already know this, but if at least one person lives from the showdown side, they win. But if all of them dies and All For One is the last one standing, then yeah, he wins. And the reason I only have it for the combatants is because what in God's name is Utahime going to do? Hit a black flash on him? Yeah, I don't know about that. And so that is the end of the rules section, so why don't we jump straight into the scaling. Now to begin, we have the Jujutsu Kaisen section, and to start off this section, we have the AP. And JJK's AP scaling can vary, as in the raid we have several people who will be fighting with so many different abilities. So I'm going to keep it simple and keep it down to the main combatants. And due to them being around Jogo's level in terms of AP, a lot of them will have large town level in terms of AP, and they can even get a little bit higher than that, as some of them could be argued to be stronger than him, getting as far up as small city level. Now for somebody like Gojo, he will definitely be at city level, and probably city level plus. I wouldn't say mountain level, but yes, Gojo will be at city level confirmed. He'll easily be there, as Gojo is far stronger than them, and he was matching against Sukuna, who was doing crazy things. Next is their speed, and them being massively hypersonic is justifiable, as Maki does react to lightning, so does Hakari. I mean, a bunch of people either use lightning or react to lightning, or just have feats that just put them at that level. I mean, I don't think that, I know a lot of people can have a bit of pushback on it, but I do address that in my Infinity Castle and Showdown Squad video. I'm not going to reiterate those points. If you're not going to hear it, then go watch that video. But yeah, for the most part, most of them will be massively hypersonic plus. But Gojo and Kashimo will probably be placed a little bit higher. And that's mainly due to Kashimo's curse technique and Sukuna reacting to it very easily and Gojo being stronger than that Sukuna. So yeah, I'd say around FTL to FTL plus for both Kashimo and Gojo should be fine. On next is their durability, and for their durability I'm going to place them at around what their AP is, as they are noted to have solidified their defenses and they can take attacks from the likes of Sukuna, which is very impressive. Now, although that is very impressive, Gojo actually does take the full brunt of Sukuna's blows. A full power Sukuna, well, a full power Megami Sukuna, while the rest of them do take more weaker punches and obviously attacks from Sukuna, they do survive. And yeah, Gojo does take basically everything aside from the Volcanic Slash, something that was meant to take him out. So yeah, their durability can range from large town level all the way up to city level. But moving on, we have their endurance, and these guys have great endurance as they are able to fight Sukuna, who is constantly slashing them and giving them life-ending blows to which they just regenerate from. Their stamina and health is mainly tied to their cursed energy, and while some of them do have infinite, some of them don't, but they can all take a hit, a great hit out, and essentially they do need to be killed or knocked out to just sit down. Now Gojo, on the other hand, his stamina doesn't matter. All that really matters for Gojo is just him dying, as he has his 6 eyes, so he can technically just fight for damn near ever. Then we have their battle IQ, and these guys are extremely great strategists, as they can think of things on the fly, but on top of that they did think of a way to take out Sukuna and had many plans that they were able to come up with in a month's time. Now, even though all of them are great, Yuta, Yuji, all of them, great strategists, the one that you do need to look at the most is Gojo, because Gojo is a prodigy in this aspect and he can adapt on the fly, make plans on the fly, as we saw against Sukuna. Now, the only reason being that it didn't really amount to much is because it's Sukuna, the king of battle IQ inside of Jujutsu Kaisen, but Gojo is a very, very close second, so he is definitely somebody you do not want to sleep on. Finally, we have the hacks. And bro, just like in my previous video where I covered the Shinjuku squad, as I said there's like 30 characters here, so I can't really explain everybody you chipped in there. Man, I'm gonna obviously, like I did in that video, I'm gonna thorough chart of all the people that did, but I'm going to be focused on the main people. So to begin, we have Gojo, and Gojo obviously has Infinity, he has his red, blue, and he also has his domain expansion, and they are pretty easy to explain. Now, while Infinity can technically be penetrated in theory, in this video I'm going to keep it as something that is just a permanent barrier. Now, red repels while blue pulls things in. Then you mix them together, that is when you get hollow purple, and it's just the perfect mix between the two of them. Gojo's domain expansion is just basically inputting information in your brain. Now, the way this domain expansion is explained is essentially your brain gets overloaded with so much information that you don't actually get past the first thing you're thinking about. I know there's this thing where people believe that, oh, it's just an infinite amount of information inside the universe getting put into your brain. No, it's because Gojo's technique, well, not his technique, but Infinity works is like, oh, it's like a barrier, not a barrier, but something that slows you down to the point where it's just like, it seems like you're not moving. His domain expansion is kind of similar to this, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like it keeps you in the exact same place. Like it doesn't allow your brain to continuously move forward, if that makes sense. That makes sense? That makes sense. Next we have Yuji, and Yuji's soul technique will not be used here. Why? Because this is All For One's body, and All For One doesn't take the souls of the people that he takes the quirks from. It's just their quirk. But he does have piercing blood, he does have RCT, and he does have his domain expansion. Then we have Yuta. Yuta has all of his techniques, so copy, Rika, and to those who think Rika is a cursed technique of Yuta's, no she's not. I don't know why that's a popular thing now, but no she's not. His domain expansion, RCT, and just the countless things that he has taken from people, because this is at the end of his fight as well, so he has a lot of things. Also, one thing that a lot of people do not mention is the fact that he has piercing blood. Will it be useful here? We don't know, but that's something to also mention. And obviously he has his infinite cursed energy mode. Also, he does have basketball domain, and if he does need to, he can obviously switch bodies. Those are like the main ones that you do need to bring up. Then we have Maki, who has a soul split katana, meaning that it doesn't matter what Wolf One wants to do, she is cutting him. And she also has a fully realized heavenly restriction. Then we have Hikari, and in his domain he has infinite cursed energy, so he will basically be immortal to a certain extent. Following up on Hikari, we have Higuruma, whose domain can strip anything away from anyone, and then give him the Executioner's Sword that can one-shot anything if landed, or just take away their life. But that only occurs if you get a death penalty. Then we have Takaba, who, if he finds the joke funny, then he can also materialize the domain and put you through a series of events. Whilst this wouldn't kill you, as he would never kill you, it would weaken you, since, yeah, you just disorientate you, then allow somebody to never follow up on them. Then we have Kashimo, who can use lightning and electromagnetic waves, and through this, you can say that he's light speed, and I will say this for the video, but his curse technique does kill him. Then we have people like Usakabe, Choso, Miguel, Todo, Uru, Maymin, Angel, and just more. Now, all of them do have curse energy, with that allows you to then use your technique. And we also have binding vows, RCTs that can help with burnout, heal them, simple domain which can negate attacks, domain amplification which is mainly used to neutralize curse techniques, which obviously will be used here, and domain expansion, which is your innate domain visualized, and it usually gives a user a buff or some sort of special ability that can do some great damage of some sort. Additionally, we do have black flashes, and anybody's privy to this. This phenomenon usually occurs when you're seriously locked in. Currently, Yuji holds the most amount of black flashes in the series, but Gojo is also up there, and it just seems like people who lock into fights way more than others aren't able to get this. So they better be locked into this. Now, this can obviously be pretty OP, as Gojo literally knocked out Sukuna while doing this, so depending on who you're hit by, it can actually do some real damage. We also have cursed tools, but Yuta has control over it, and there aren't really any that are too important, aside from the soul split katana. So with that being said, I feel like I've gone through everything we need to go over, so how about we hop into All for One scaling. Now for All for One, his scaling can vary, as we'll be using all of his forms, meaning the form from the start of the war where he originally fought Endeavor, to then the one at the end where he then died to Bakugo as a baby. Now at the start, he's around city to mountain level in terms of AP due to All Might scaling with him able to change the weather, and this All for One is around that level in terms of power, as they did find Kamino and was pushing him about. Now in his prime form, he should scale to around prime All Might, so large island level to country level is very comfortable, and I doubt anybody's going to complain, as All Might who changed the weather is 60 times weaker than who he is in his prime, and All for One was able to go toe to toe and permanently scar that All Might. Then in his younger forms, they're just a little bit weaker than his prime one, but I don't think they get as weak as the one in Kamino. And the reason I say this is because he mainly loses most of the fights, or doesn't lose but gets younger due to his pride. When he locks in though, he takes basically everybody out with ease. So I'm gonna place him at city level at a harsh push, but at the max he'll be country level. Moving on, we have his speed, and at a bare minimum he is FEO plus, as yes, on multiple occasions Aoyama's light has been compared to real light and is stated as real light, and Mina effortlessly dodged this in the sports festival, and To compare that Mina to All For One is blasphemy. All For One is an unquantifiable amount of times stronger than her. Like, seriously, it's a massive margin. So yeah, FTO plus to MFTO is probably where I'm going to put him at for this video, and MFTO is probably where I want to set that. Next is his durability, and yeah, he should be definitely around his AP level, as he does take shots from All Might and Endeavor when he's weakened, Bakugo as well, but in his prime he was taking punches from All Might. So yeah, he's definitely either city level or country level. Endurance wise, he literally takes on many top heroes and group attacks from all the heroes. He takes attacks from everybody and survives a bunch of it, and also has rewind. So yeah. Then we have his battle IQ, and he can be actually smart in battle, even though he does come across as an arrogant idiot. No, he's pretty smart sometimes, but he likes to use his quirks to his advantage and is very likely to get cocky. That is why he does come across as a bit of an idiot sometimes when he is fighting. Finally, we have his hacks, and bro, do you know how many quirks this man has stolen over his 100 years tyranny? Like, genuinely, you see that massive thing he created versus Bakugo? That isn't even all of his quirks, as he likes to say. He has many quirks that, if important, I'll say in the battle, but the main one for All For One is probably just the All For One quirk, which is useless here. Then we have Rewind, which is his trump card here, as they don't know about it, but can also be a detriment, and that's really about it. If there are any other ones, I'll probably just say in the battle. So I feel like I've said all I need to say about both sides, so how about we hop straight into the versus battle. Firing off a Hollow Purple at All For One, Gojo approaches him, and All For One has easily blocked it. Now All For One has been waiting for Gojo, and he knows that Gojo is going to be a good fight, or so he thinks. Now when he obviously goes over to Gojo, he blitzes Gojo, but because Gojo's Infinity is up, he can't do anything. Now he does know about Gojo's Infinity and knows how to get around it, but Gojo also knows this as well. So essentially they're just boxing, and All For One's tactic is just to use quirks that can affect Gojo's surroundings instead of trying to attack Gojo himself. Now with that happening, Gojo is trying to land blows on him, but he's realizing that All For One is just a little bit too quick. Now unlike in canon, the rest of the squad isn't going to sit still, and so Todo gets on the move, and he's teleporting around, and All For One picks up on this slightly but doesn't think anything too much of it, as well there's only like a few other people that could possibly do anything, but he doesn't really care. So they keep teleporting around until he's tagged by Higuruma, and then his domain is popped. With Higuruma's domain active, he already knows what it does, so he pledges guilty, and the Executioner Sword comes out and a quirk is taken. Now if I really wanted to be evil, I could say a random quirk is taken, but because I'm nice, I'm going to say Rewind was taken. So they all leave the domain, and All For One actually knows this, but they don't, because remember, they didn't know what was taken from Sukuna until they realized that, oh, his little weapon isn't there. So they continue fighting, and Gojo doesn't really know what was taken, but he decides to gamble here. So as he does the hand sign, All For One rushes over to him and grabs him. Gojo is a little bit scared here as well. He thought he had enough time, but the thing is that he's been underestimating All For One's speed. See, he thought that he could cast his hand sign and then stop him and then have Higuruma go over there and tag him. But no, he wasn't quick enough. So All For One goes over there and pops his head. And this All For One is actually being cautious now, as he knows that if he makes a mistake, it's over with. He has no rewind. So with Gojo's head going pop, his little basketball domain shatters, and out comes All For One with Gojo's blood raining everywhere. This is where Higuruma tries to attack him, but he is easily dismantled and taken down, and Todo is forced to retreat and bring everyone else back with Yui. Now Kashimo goes in first as well. He wants a piece of it, and he's torched. He gets absolutely torched. So then the rest of them try to come in. Yuta tries to tactically go around with him and Rika and try to attack All For One. He tries to cast his domain. Akari tries to cast his. It's all a big mess. And obviously Akari goes first, as that then gives him infinite cursed energy and allows him to then fight. But All For One doesn't give him the chance to even get his gambles up. So that's him gone too. Then Maki tries. She's gone. Itadori tries to come in. He's gone. And Yuta is trying, but he's gone too. Choso, gone. All of them just get dealt with instantly, as they just can't handle the speed. Even if All For One technically here is closer to them, you gotta remember, All For One here is stronger than Gojo, which means he is also privy to be stronger than Sukuna. The Sukuna they fought. So we know that if Sukuna wasn't holding back, he would have popped them all easily. And with All For One having a larger strength gap, there is no way for them to get this off. And you know what's so funny? Even if, let's say for instance, they try to do a technique where, I don't know, maybe Yuji or Choso or somebody spat their piercing blood out. You do realize that, number one, All For One could ingest it, then just spurt out of his body, as he can do that for some reason. And then they're all pinned to the ground. Even like, okay, you gotta understand that even if they do get something off, All For One can just get a piece of their blood, then they're just on the ground and they're stuck. There's no way of getting out of it. Now there's way too many ways that All For One can get around it. He can make barriers. He can like use radio. Like he has way too many ways of attacking. All For One is like worse, like a way worse nightmare than Sukuna. And even though they do know about the majority of his quirks, they don't know about Blood Curdle. They know about the one that can reject the blood. They don't know about Rewind, which they are lucky to even get, since they thought that, or Gojo thought that he took away All For One, and that is what All For One allowed him to think. Yeah, this is a one-sided fight. It's completely one-sided, and that is me being nice. What if he just took a random quirk? Like, let's say for instance he took the Spike quirk and he still has Rewind. All For One would have been cocky. I think All For One would have allowed himself to get hit by the Unlimited Void, just to like get rid of the Executioner's Sword and then rewind into his prime form, and there's no way any of them would be able to do anything. Gojo would probably have tried to hit him again with a Unlimited Void, and that would have failed. So yeah, this is a easy victory for All For One. And so with that being said, that's the end of the video. I really enjoy making this video, as making My Hero Crossverse content will always be one of my favorites. And so if you guys want to see another versus battle like this, you know what to do. Hit the like button and subscribe, and tell me who you want to see. Maybe I'll put Bakugo up against Sukuna, or Bakugo with somebody that's meant to be kind of fun. So yeah, All For One. But yeah, I shall see you guys in the next video. I love you all. Good